Seats will become big, giant, inflatable cushions that will launch you in the direction of the nearest exit, either to the left or right or rear of the auditorium. Just a few reminders to go ahead and turn off all cell phones now. The use of any type of recording device or flash photography is prohibited throughout the play. And if you have any favorite candies or foods that would make loud noises, just go ahead and unwrap them now. There'll be two intermissions throughout the play, so I just want you to sit back, relax, and please enjoy the show. Thank you.
She'll live.
Thank heavens.
You're a pair of lucky parents. I can tell you now. I thought she wouldn't.
Nonsense. This child's a Keller. She has the constitution of a goat. She'll outlive us all.
Yes, especially if some of you Kellers don't get a good night's sleep. I mean you, Mrs. Keller.
You hear, Katie?
I hear.
I've brought up 2 of them myself. This is my wife's first. She isn't battle-scarred yet.
Doctor, don't be merely considerate. Will my little girl be all right?
Oh, by morning she'll be knocking down Captain Keller's fences again.
And there isn't anything we should do.
Put up stronger fencing.
Just let her get well. She knows how to do it better than we do. Main thing is, the fever's gone. These things come and go in infants, never know why. Call it acute congestion of the stomach and brain.
I'll see you to your buggy, Doctor.
I've never seen a baby more vitality. That's the truth.
Don't cry. You've been trouble enough already. Call it acute congestion. Indeed, I don't see what's so cute about it. Just because it's yours. We'll have your father write an editorial in his paper. The wonders of modern medicine. They don't know what they're curing even after they cure it. Men and their battle scars. We women will have to. Helen. Helen. Captain.
Helen, wait, Helen.
Kitty, what's wrong?
Look!
Oh, she's well. She only
Look!
needs time to...
Look at her eyes! She can't see!
Helen?
Or hear. When I yelled, she didn't blink, not an eyelash.
Helen! Helen!
She can't hear you.
Helen!
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 First, I'm going to cut off the doctor's leg. 1, 2, now then.
Why are you cutting off the doctor's legs?
I'm going to give him an operation. Now I'm going to cut off the doctor's arms. 1, 2. Now I'm going to get stop that.
Cut off his stomach. That's a good operation.
No, I'm going to cut off his head. He got a bad cold.
Well, I ain't gonna mention that doctor left to fix it in time to finish out the operation.
What'd you do now? Bite her hand?
That's how I do. She keep poking her finger in my mouth. I just bite him off.
What's she trying to do now?
She's trying to talk. She's gonna get mad. Look at her trying to talk.
Hey, you stop now!
Miss Cowan! Miss Cowan!
Let me have those scissors.
She's only dug Martha's eyes out. But almost dug, it's always almost. No use worrying till it happens. Now Liz there.
How does she stand it? Why haven't you called this Baltimore man? It's not a thing you can let go on and on like the weather.
The weather here doesn't ask permission of me, Aunt Ev. Talk to my father.
Arthur, something ought to be done for that child.
Refreshing suggestion. What?
What this very famous oculist wrote to you about. What was his name?
Dr. Chisholm.
Yes. Now, I heard lots of cases of blindness they thought couldn't be cured. He's cured. Now, he just does wonders. Why don't you write to him?
Now stop believing in wonders.
Think the captain will write soon. Won't you, Captain?
No.
Good money after bad or bad after good?
Well, if
bad
it's just
after
a
bad?
question of money, Arthur. Now, you were Marshal. You have this Yankee money. You might as well go ahead and use
Not money. The child's been to specialists all over Alabama and Tennessee. If I thought it would do any good, I'd have her to every fool doctor in the country.
I think the captain will write me soon.
Katie, how many times will you let them break your heart?
As many
What
as it
child?
takes. As long as there's the least chance for her to see or
There
hear.
isn't. Now I must finish here.
Thank you. With your permission, Captain, I'd like to write him.
I said no, Katie.
Writing does no harm, Arthur. Only a little bitty letter to see if he can help her.
He can't.
We won't know that to be a fact, Captain, until after you write.
Katie, he can't.
Father stands up, and that makes it a fact.
You be quiet. I'm battered enough here by females without your impudence. Katie! I might as well work in a hen yard as in this house.
You might as well put it away, Father.
What?
It's some asylum, it's the kindest thing.
She's your sister, James, not a nobody.
Half sister and half mentally defective. She can't even keep herself clean. It's not pleasant to see her about all the time.
Do you dare complain of what you can see?
This discussion is at an end. I'll thank you not to broach it again, Ev. I've done more than I can bear. I can't give my whole life to it. This house is at sixes and sevens from morning till night with the child. It's time some attention was paid to Mildred here instead.
You'll wake her, Captain.
I want some peace in this house. I don't care how or when, but one way we won't have it is by running up and down the country every time someone hears of a new quack. I'm as sensible to this affliction as anyone else. It hurts me to look at the girl.
It's not our affliction I meant to write about.
Ellen! Ellen, my buttons!
Eyes? She wants the doll to have eyes.
My goodness me. I'm not decent.
She doesn't know any better, Aunt Todd. I'll sew them on again.
She's never going to learn anything with everyone letting her do whatever she takes in her mind to do.
You be quiet.
What did I say now?
You talk too much.
I was agreeing with you.
Whatever it was, deprived child, the least she can have are the little things she wants.
It's worth a couple of buttons, Kate. Look. This child has more sense than all these men tell us. If there was ever any way to reach that mind of hers.
Helen!
Helen! Helen! Helen, you're not to do such things. How can I make you understand?
Katie,
How can I get it into your head? Darling, my poor little angel.
some way of teaching her an iota of discipline has to be.
How do you discipline an afflicted child? Is it her fault?
I didn't say it was her fault.
Then whose? I don't know what to do. How can I teach her? Beat her until she's black and blue?
It's not safe to let her run around loose. There has to be some way of confining her so that she...
In a cage. She's a growing child. She has to use her limbs.
Answer me one question. Is it fair to Mildred here?
Are you willing to put her away?
Well, now,
She wants to talk like you and me. Every day she slips further away. I don't know how to call her back.
I have a mind to take her up to Baltimore myself. If that doctor can't help her, maybe he'll know who can.
I'll write the man, Katie.
Who could do nothing for the girl, of course. It was Dr. Bell who thought she might somehow be taught. Now, I've written the family only that a suitable governess, Miss Annie Sullivan, has been found here and will come. And it will no doubt be difficult for you there, Annie. But it's been difficult for you at our school, too. Gratifying, yes. When you came here, you could not spell your name. You accomplished so much in a few years, but always an Irish battle for independence. This is my last time to counsel you, Annie. And you do lack some. By some, I mean all. What? Tact or talent to bend to others? Or what has saved you on more than one occasion was there was nowhere else to expel you to. Your eyes hurt?
My ears, Mr. Anagnos.
Nor but back at Tewksbury, where children learn to be saucy. Annie, I know it was an awful experience there. The battle is dead and done with. Why not let it stay buried?
I think God must owe me a resurrection.
What?
Well, he keeps bringing up that battle.
Annie, that is not a proper thing to say. It is what I mean.
Yes, but I know what I'm like. What's this child like?
Like?
Well, bright or dull to start off?
No one knows. And if she is dull, you have no patience with this?
Oh, in grown-ups you have to, Mr. Anagnos. It's just that in children it seems a little precocious. Can I use that word?
Only if you can spell it.
Premature. So I hope at least she's a bright one.
Deaf, blind, mute, who knows? She's like a little safe that's locked and no one can open. Perhaps there's a treasure inside.
Maybe it's empty too.
That's very possible. I should warn you, Helen is much given to tantrums.
Well, means something's inside. Well, so am I if I believe all I hear. Maybe you should warn them about me.
I wrote them no word of your history. You'll find yourself among people there who know nothing of it.
Well, we'll keep them in a state of blessed ignorance.
Maybe you should tell it,
Why? I have enough trouble with people who don't know.
so they will understand when you have trouble.
The only time I have trouble is when I'm right. Is it my fault it's so often?
Annie!
I won't give them trouble, Mr. Anagnos. I'll be so ladylike, they won't notice I've come.
Annie, be humble. It's not as if you have choices to pick and choose from. You need their affection working with this child.
I hope I won't need their pity.
We can all use some pity. So, you're no longer a student here. We throw you into the world, a teacher. That is, if the child can be taught. No one expects you to work miracles, even for $25 a month. Now, in this envelope is a loan for the railroad, which you will repay me when you get a bank account. But in this box is a gift. With our love. I think others are ready to say goodbye.
Mr. Anagnos, Dear Mr. Anagnos, Well, what should I say? I'm an ignorant, opinionated girl, and everything I am I owe to you.
That is only half true, Annie.
Which half? I crawled in here like a drowned rat. I thought I died when Jimmy died. But I'd never again come alive. Well, you say, with love, so easy. But I haven't loved a soul since, and I never will, I suppose. But this place gave me more than my eyes back, or taught me to spell, which I'll never learn anyway. But with all the fights and the trouble I've been here, it taught me what help is, and how to live again. And I don't want to say goodbye. Don't open the door. I'm crying.
They will not see.
I'm over here. Oh, now you shouldn't have.
Don't go anywhere. Where's Alice? Here I am. Where? Here.
I have it, everybody. Should I open it?
Open it, Annie. Everybody be quiet. Is it opening?
It's open.
It's for your eyes, Annie. Put them on, Annie. Because Mrs. Hopkins said your eyes hurt since the operation. And she said you're going where the sun is fierce.
I'm putting them on now.
Don't go, Annie, where the sun is fierce. Do they fit all right, Annie?
Oh, they fit just fine.
Did you put them on, Annie? Are they
eyes feel hundreds of % better. Oh, and pretty. Why, do you know how I look in them?
How, Annie?
Splendiloquent, like a racehorse.
There's another present. We have a present for Helen. It's for Helen. And we took up a collection to buy it. And Laura dressed it.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So don't forget, you be sure to give it to Helen from us.
I promise. It'll be the first thing I give to her. That is, if I don't keep it for myself. You know I can't be trusted with dolls.
Don't go into her.
Oh, Sarah, dear, I don't want to go.
Then why are you going?
Because I'm a big girl now. And big girls have to earn a living. It's the only way I can. But if you don't smile for me first, what I'll just have to do is put you in my suitcase instead of this doll and take you to Helen in Alabama.
Come, children.
No.
We must get the trunk to the carriage and Annie to the train, or no one will go to Alabama. Come.
Bye.
Where are we going, Annie?
Jimmy,
Where are we going?
says I'm taking care of you.
Forever and ever?
Annie Sullivan, age 9, virtually blind. Jane Sullivan, age 7. What's the matter with your leg, Sonny?
Forever and ever.
Can't he walk without that crutch? Girl goes to the women's ward, boy to the men's.
Annie! Annie, don't let him take me! Annie!
Annie.
Come in.
I can't wait to see her, Vine.
Well, maybe she ain't gonna be on this train, maybe.
Maybe she is.
Well, maybe she ain't.
Maybe she is. Where's Helen?
She's upstairs smelling around somewhere. She knows something funny's going on.
Give her a supper and put Mildred to bed. Tell the captain supper will be a bit delayed tonight.
Again?
I don't think we need to say again. Simply delayed will do.
I mean, that's what he's gonna say. What? Again?
Yes, we're expecting someone. Someone from my Helen. This was clean not an hour ago. Oh! One peppermint drop won't spoil your appetite, dear.
Jimmy,
Sir,
you don't look dressed for anything useful, boy.
I'm not. It's for Miss Sullivan.
You can keep holding up that porch. We have wooden posts for that. I thought I asked you to move those strawberry plants this evening.
Well, I'm moving your Mrs. Keller to the station instead.
Mrs. Keller, must you always refer to her as if you haven't met the lady?
Mother. I said mother.
Captain,
Evening, my dear.
we're off to meet the train, Captain. Supper will be a trifle delayed tonight.
What? Again?
With your permission, Captain.
What you want, honey? Your mama? Here you are. One little tea cake won't hurt your appetite.
She's gone. She's gone. My son and I don't get along. You don't know I'm your father. Nobody likes me, and supper's delayed. I bought you some stick candy. One nibble of sweets won't do any harm.
Now, Captain Keller, how am I going to get her to eat her supper if you keep filling her up with all that trash?
Tend to your work. Oh!
Miss Sullivan.
Oh, here at last. Why, I've been on trains so many days, I thought they must be backing up every time I dozed off.
I'm James Keller.
James? Well, I had a brother, Jimmy. Are you Helen's?
Well, I'm a half-brother. Now, you're to be her governess.
Well, try.
Well, you look like half a governess. Mrs. Keller, this is Miss Sullivan.
We've met every train for the past 2 days.
Oh, I changed trains every time we stopped. The man who sold me that ticket ought to be tied to the tracks.
Miss Sullivan, do you have a trunk?
Oh, yes. You didn't bring Helen. I was hoping you would.
No, she's home.
You live far from town, Mrs. Keller?
Only a mile.
Well, I suppose I can wait one more mile. But don't be surprised if I get out and help push the horse.
Helen's expecting you too. There's been such a bustle in the house lately, she expects something. Heaven knows what. I expected a desiccated spinster. You're very young.
Oh, you should have seen me before I left Boston. I got much older on this trip.
I mean to teach anyone as difficult as Helen.
Well, I mean to try. They can't put you in jail for trying.
Is it possible, even, to teach a deaf-blind child half of what an ordinary child learns? Has it ever been done?
Half?
A tenth?
No, never. Well, Dr. Howe did wonders, but an ordinary child? No. But then again, it seemed like he never treated them like ordinary children. More like eggs everyone thought would break.
May I ask how old you are?
Well, I'm not in my teens, you know. I'm 20.
All of 20.
Mrs. Keller, don't lose heart just because I'm not on my last legs. Well, I have 3 advantages over Dr. Howe that money couldn't buy for you. Well, one is his work behind me. Why, I've read every word of his on it. He's not exactly what you'd call a man of few words. Another is to be young. Why, I've got energy to do anything. And the third is, I've been blind.
Advantages.
Well, some have the look of the Irish, some do not.
And what will you teach her first?
First, last, and in between, language.
Language.
Language is to the mind more than light is to the eye. Dr. Howe said that.
Language. We can't get her to sit still. You are young, despite your years, to have such confidence. Do you inside?
No. To tell you the truth, I'm as shaky inside as a baby's rattle.
Well, don't be. We'll do all we can to help. Don't think of us as strangers, Miss Annie.
Oh, strangers aren't so strange to me. I've known them all my life.
Captain Keller! Captain Keller, they're coming! She sure enough came, Captain.
Oh, welcome to Ivy Green, Miss Sullivan. I take it you are.
My husband, Miss Annie, Captain Keller.
Captain, how do you do?
A pleasure to meet you at last. I trust you had an agreeable journey.
Oh, I had several. When did this country get so big?
Where Miss Sullivan can get at it, I'd imagine.
Yes, please.
In the hall,
Where's
Jimmy.
Helen?
We put you in the upstairs corner room, Miss Annie. If there's any breeze at all this summer, you'll feel it.
And the suitcase.
Well, I'll take the suitcase.
No,
thanks.
I'll have it, Miss Sullivan.
Well, I'd like it.
No, you see, in the South, give you
Let
women a
me. I have
civilization.
something in it for Helen. Thank you. When do I see her?
There. There's Helen.
She's very rough, Katie.
I like her, Captain.
Certainly, you're a peculiar kind of woman in the North. How old is she?
Oh. Well, she's not in her teens, you
She's
know.
only a child. What's her family like, shipping her off all the way down here?
Couldn't learn. She's very close-mouthed about some things.
And why does she wear those glasses? I like to see a person's eyes when I talk to them.
For the sun. She was blind.
Blind?
She's had 9 operations on her eyes, one just before she left.
Blind? Good heavens! Does she have any experience at least? How long did she teach there?
She was a pupil.
Katie, this is her first position?
She was valedictorian.
Here's a household of grown-ups. Can't cope with the child. How do you expect a half-blind Yankee schoolgirl to manage her?
Well, great improvement. Now we have 2 of them to look after.
You look after those strawberry plants.
Nothing I say is right.
Then why say anything at all? Don't be long, Captain. Dinner will be ready soon.
All the trouble I went to, and that's how I look. Oh, nope, not the drawers. All right, Miss O'Sullivan. Let's start with doll. D-O-L-L. Doll.
Well, you spell pretty well. Are you finding out if she's ticklish? Because she is. What is it? A game?
An alphabet.
Alphabet?
For the deaf. How bright she is.
You think she knows what she's doing. She imitates everything. She's a monkey.
She's a bright little monkey, all right.
She wants her doll back, Miss Sullivan.
When she spells it.
Spell? She doesn't know the thing has a name.
Well, of course not. Who expects her to now? All I want is her fingers to learn the letters.
But they're not going to mean anything to her. She doesn't like that alphabet of yours, Miss Sullivan. Did you invent it yourself?
Spanish monks under a vow of silence, which I wish you'd take. C-A-K-E. Cake. From Washington up north. It's the best I can do. C-A-K-E. Get it down fast. Or maybe I'll take that back too. All right. Now. D-O-L-L. Think it over. L. Imitate now, understand later. In the first lesson. Oh! Oh! Oh, you little wretch! Oh, no one's taught you any manners. Oh, well, I'll... Helen? Helen? Helen, let me out!
Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight? Come out tonight, come out tonight. Buffalo gals, won't you come out tonight?
It's all right. They'll find you. You're not lost. Just out of place. Oh, I'm toothless. Oh. Oh. Oh, it hurts.
It hurts. Annie, it hurts.
Keep that brat shut up, can't you, Curly? How's a body to get any sleep in this ward?
It hurts. It hurts.
Shut up, you!
Annie, when are we going home? You promised.
Jimmy.
Forever and ever. You said forever. Annie? Annie, you there? Annie, it hurts.
Gravity's falling!
Annie!
Little girl, I must tell you, your brother will be going on a journey soon.
Certainly. Father, supper.
No need to shout. I've been cooling my heels for an hour. Sit down.
Certainly.
Bonnie?
Yes, Captain, right here.
Did Mildred sleep well, Viney?
I don't know, Miss Kate. She didn't. Oh, yes. That babe's an angel.
And Helen had a good supper.
I don't know, Miss Kate. She didn't seem to have much of an appetite tonight.
Oh, dear.
Well, can't say the same for myself. I'm famished. Katie, your plate?
But where's Miss Annie?
She's in her room.
Doesn't she know that hot food must be eaten hot? Go and fetch her, Jimmy.
Certainly, I'll get the ladder.
What?
Well, I'll need a ladder. It shouldn't take me too long.
What shouldn't take you too long?
Do as I say, Jimmy. Go and fetch Miss Sullivan and tell her supper is getting cold.
She's locked in her room.
Locked
What on earth?
Helen locked her in and made off with the key.
And you sit here and say nothing?
Well, you've been telling me not to say anything.
Viney,
Yes, Miss Kate.
look out back for Helen. See if she has that key.
She's out by the pump. Miss Sullivan, are you in there?
I'm in here all right.
Is there no key on your side?
Well, if there was a key on my side, I wouldn't be on my side. Helen took it. The only thing on my side is me.
Miss Sullivan, not in the house 10 minutes. I don't know how you managed it.
And even I'm not on my side.
Bonnie,
Yes, Captain, right here.
put that meat back in the oven.
Yes, Captain.
She doesn't have it.
She has to have the key. Have you searched her pockets?
Yes, she doesn't have it.
Katie, she has to have that key.
Would you prefer to search yourself, Captain?
No, I would not prefer to search her myself. This evening, she nearly took off my kneecap when I was merely trying to... Put that ladder back.
She could have hidden the key.
Where?
I don't know, anywhere. In the grass, under a stone, and...
Well, I can't plow out the entire grounds to search for a missing key. Jimmy? Sir. Bring me a ladder. Sir.
What is Mildred doing up?
Walker, ma'am, all of that hollering.
Miss Sullivan?
Captain Keller?
Come out.
I don't see how I can. There isn't room.
I intend to carry you. Just climb here onto my shoulder.
It's very chivalrous of you, Captain Keller, but
Miss
I don't
Sullivan,
think that...
follow instructions. We will not have you tumbling out of our windows, and I hope this is not a sample of what we can expect from you in the work of simplifying Helen.
Captain Keller, I'm sure I'm perfectly able to go down a ladder.
Miss Sullivan, I doubt it. Now just simply grab onto my neck. My neck, Miss Sullivan!
I'm sorry to inconvenience you in this way.
No inconvenience, save having to take down that door and have that lock replaced if we can't find that key.
Oh, I'll look everywhere for it.
Thank you. Just don't look in any rooms that can be locked.
Thank you.
Go, go! Back to your work. There's nothing to look at here. What are you looking at? Now, could we please have supper like normal people?
Viney, you serve supper. I'll put Mildred to sleep.
I think we might as well keep this L-A-D-D-E-R.
You devil. So, you think I'm so easily gotten rid of? But you have a thing or two to learn. I've got nothing else to do. There's nowhere else to go.